85%. 85% of your success or failure in life is determined by this one thing. Want to know what it is? Well, according to Dale Carnegie, who was the guy who wrote the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, he said 85% based on the research of your success or failure is based on your attitude. What is your attitude? Your attitude is how you manage your emotions and your communications. And that is based in a science called emotional intelligence. And that was written by Daniel Goleman. And now I want to introduce you to this. I'm so happy someone asked me this. I love talking about emotional intelligence. I was so inspired by emotional intelligence and social intelligence that my book, my claim to fame now, is pure spiritual intelligence, because I believe there's a spiritual element that people miss. So here we go. Emotional intelligence. I'm very excited to have this conversation. My name is James MacNeil. I am the author of Pure Spiritual Intelligence. I am quoting people like Dale Carnegie, and I'm quoting Daniel Goleman, who wrote Emotional Intelligence. Let's go. So first of all, how you show up matters. How you show up matters. It matters because people will respond to you based on how they perceive you, and you may not know how you're coming off. You may not know why some people don't show you respect, why some people talk down to you, why some people take you for granted. You may not know why some people are a bit shy of you, a little bit intimidated, a little bit uncomfortable. You don't know why people are responding to you the way they do. Have you ever had it where you're really good friends with someone and they're really good friends with someone and you ain't? And you're like, how do you get along with that person? They're like, what? They're fine. You're like, no, they're not fine. Why is it some people click and some people don't? And these are the kinds of things that can get in the way. So it doesn't mean you're not cool. It doesn't mean they're not cool. It means what about you triggers what about them and otherwise. So let's get the science down pat. The simplest organization of the emotional intelligence principles was presented by Daniel Goleman. And they're the quadrants. So quadrant number 1, self-awareness. How self-aware are you? Are you aware how you're coming off? Am I coming off like a parent? Am I talking down to people? Am I being respectful? Am I being a little bit too reserved, a little bit too aggressive? How am I showing up? Now, you can review the social mirror and just kind of assess how people are seeing you. You can also ask, right? If you haven't scared everyone away. You can ask some people, how am I coming off to you? Do I come on a little strong, a little soft, a little shy, a little aggressive, too funny, too silly, too serious, too playful? How am I showing up in the world? That would be helpful. So self-awareness. I tell you, self-awareness is huge. Not only how am I coming off on the outside, but what about me? What are my thoughts, feelings, beliefs, triggers that are provoking me to show up that way? So what is the internal game? What is the interpersonal game? Self-awareness, that's step number 1. Second is self-regulation or self-management. Can you manage yourself? Now, I'm not talking about biting your tongue. Biting your tongue, right? You just say, oh, keep that to myself. I'm fine. Well, someone's going to get it. That didn't go away, right? If you're just biting it, I learned a curse from Freddie Flintstone. Anyone with me here? Sucker, frugger, rigger, rigger. So you might be biting your tongue. Well, you're going to chew your freaking tongue off, and that didn't go nowhere. It could cause what's called depression. Depression is not feeling sadness. It's the opposite. It's the failure to feel sadness. It's the failure to feel things that require some management. And so when you depress, when you push down the emotions, then they come back up in very ugly and inconvenient ways. So depression is the experience of those who have depressed emotions and not managed them. So you might say, well, James, you told me not to let them have it. Now you're telling me not to swallow. What the am I supposed to do with it? And the secrets to emotional intelligence is first self-awareness, but then self-management comes when we challenge the perception that provoked the reaction. So if someone says to you, someone says to me, James, you're a jerk. Now I could say, oh yeah, I know I am not, you are. I could do something very strategic like that. Or I could say, you're right, I'm a jerk. Or I could say, I'm sad to hear you say that. I'm sad to hear you say that because I actually really care about you, and I'm guessing I've done something to offend you. So if you said I'm a jerk, that means I behaved like a jerk, and I'm currently unaware of what I did. Would you be kind enough to tell me what I did so I can apologize? Because I really would like it if we were good. You say, James, that's pretty enlightened. It's fine. It's easy for me now on video. The person's not talking to me. Maybe I wouldn't be so good in real life. But the mastery of emotional intelligence starts with I am aware. Number 2, I found ways to manage myself authentically, not to depress, but manage myself so I can diffuse the bomb and I can actually engage with someone very effectively. So self-awareness, self-management. Then social awareness. How are you at picking up the cues? Reading a room, feeling the vibe. They're with me, they're not with me. They're being disingenuous, they're being sneaky. There's something else going on here. I can feel it. Now you might say, well, I'm not that dialed in. Now this is one of the differences traditionally between men and women. Now everyone can be the other, right? I have a very feminine mind, quite frankly, in a lot of ways. I'm straight, don't get excited, gay guys. Anyways, I'm just saying I do have a feminine mind, which means some of the things that are normally associated with women I'm actually kind of comfortable with. And one of them is reading a room. I can feel things that are going on. But traditionally between men and women, a man and a woman are at a party. They leave and the woman says, "Can you believe that?" And you're like, yeah, no, I can't. What? And she says, "The way Bob was talking to his wife." And you're like, what? They're fine. Now, if you ask him about the party, he'll tell you how the food was and where the bathroom was. But if you ask her about the party, she's going to tell you about all the complexities of interactions between all of the people. Who's liking who's not liking who flirted with who was being appropriate, who was being professional. She's read the vibe. And the guy's like, huh? Shrimp was good. Now, I'm not trying to insult you guys. I'm merely saying that men are not always as dialed in as women are generally. But social awareness is I'm learning to sense the cues. I'm getting a better sense of who's with me, who's not, who's sincere, who's not, who's got an agenda, who doesn't, who's happy, who's not happy. They said they're fine, but they're not fine. And gentlemen, all you men and women know that when a person says, "I'm fine," it doesn't mean they're fine. It means run away. And so we can get better at sensing the emotions of others. And then that's social awareness. So again, self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and then the fourth of the 4 quadrants is relationship management. Can you now engage with another person more effectively that you're aware of yourself, your own tendencies, your own, I come on a little strong, I come on a little soft, and then self-management. I can now self-regulate, right? Which is something that we're supposed to learn as kids, how to manage our own emotions. And then social awareness, dialing into the emotional state and wellness and whatever agendas of others. And then relationship management, to be able to have those conversations, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And even ugly conversations are necessary, right? It's like, this is life. And so to master emotional intelligence is to start with that self-awareness. And I want you to know, you might not know how you're coming off. I've had people come up to me, I'll give a speech, a lecture somewhere. Someone will come up to me, and I'm not kidding. I'm going to give you this one. Guy came up to me and he said, "I have a problem." And I said, "Oh no, you okay?" "Yeah, I'm too aggressive. I scare everybody. I come on too strong. I'm too loud. I'm overwhelming." Huh. That wasn't my experience. And he thought he was coming on too strong. He was not coming on too strong. And so you may think you're coming on strong when you're not. You may think you're not when you are. And so self-awareness might be a little bit trickier than you think at this moment. I'm not sure. But I'm going to encourage you to really look into this self-awareness. And you might ask some people so you can become better tuned into how you are showing up. And then self-management. Authentic, self-respecting, emotional respecting self-management. And then social awareness, dial in and then manage those relationships. And you, my dear friend, are going to be in the top few of enjoying life and love and wealth and business and having a great experience. Emotional intelligence, according to Dale Carnegie, 85% of success and failure is based on your attitude, which is how you manage your emotions and your interactions. I encourage you with all of my heart, study emotional intelligence. Understand how are you showing up. Manage yourself, sense others, and master those relationships. Because my friends, I think you would agree, the greatest treasure on this earth is relationships. It's not just what you get out of the relationships themselves are the greatest treasure we get to enjoy. And I hope you are in love. I hope you're in love with life. I hope you're in love with yourself, with divine, with your puppies, with your kids, with your family. I hope you're enjoying life. Emotional intelligence, EQ, will serve you well. This is James MacNeil. Please, again, like, love, comment, share. Let me know what you think. And I look forward to serving you again. Love, joy, peace.